What's up guys, Smith here, back again with a new video. We're gonna analyze the Nasdaq for today, of course. There are also some things that I want to show you that happened yesterday. So we got a lot to do in this video, a lot of new things to be learned. First, let's get into the analysis of yesterday and what happened over there. When I did my analysis yesterday, I said we are up until proven otherwise, but it is a bit difficult because we are at all-time highs. So you would need some local things to get a play. Right here, I was pretty sharp on the market for longs because what did we do? We broke structure towards the upside, getting a lot of buyers. Right here you take out those buyers and you had a nice for value gap that tried to get you towards new lows. You failed to make new lows, you inversed it. This was at 11:30, so that was way too late after macro for me. So I don't put in an order at that moment. Then you grinded a bit above your for value gap, and right before the macro started you tapped perfectly in that gap. I would not preset this before the macro like it, because most of the times macro will give you an entry if there's gonna be a play. So then I'm just waiting for the macro, and you can never know what macro wants to do. If macro thinks, alright, really nice that you did this, but we want more liquidity from the downside, then it's gonna take liquidity from the downside. So I didn't play that one, but when you tested back this gap, you made this for value gap. This is also something I wouldn't play. One, because you didn't use the gap to, well, create this low, or just like this, spend some time in the for value gap, show you that it gets respected. And also, if you are gonna inverse it, you will have to put your stop loss. If you technically you will have to put your stop loss at least here, and really to be safe over here, well, what would be your target? The London high. The risk reward will be fine, but it's also a point you could always reject, so you want to be break even or take profit. This was a nice point of the market to take some profit, also in combination with your order blocks. But not really a trade for me to take, because it would only be interesting if you put your stop loss below here, but you just can't because it is not valid. So longs not taken. Then what you did here, this was a short I would take, but I didn't take because I missed a few things. When my trading partner got in a call with me and we started analyzing the London, and after London we're just recapping the whole day, he showed me something I missed and why I should have taken this short. First, you have the London high. You can take out the London high, you make an SMT. That's really weak behavior of the market and more bearish than bullish, even though we're pumping up the whole day. So locally, it shows you need more liquidity from the lows. What also happened, and the crucial thing I missed, as you can see right here, you make a lower high and a lower low. You're gonna get in some early sellers. What happens to those early sellers? Those early sellers get taken out. So that is the first manipulation of the market. Then right here, you have a for value gap to use, and you inverse it. Then you might say, oh yeah, you always play that kind of entries after the manipulation that you have and SMTs and whatever. Then you play this inverse. Yes, but I only do it if I see that the for value gap is gonna be used. So tap into the for value gap, try to make a new high, show that you can't make a new high. If you then inverse it, it's more likely that you're gonna respect the high that you just put in, and that you're gonna continue your move down, because then the manipulation has been done, they filled up their orders and they want to protect the high. That didn't happen here. You just straight up dumped through the for value gap. You also didn't take this low. That would have been another confluence. if you're gonna do this pump down, pump below the fair value gap, close below this low, then yeah, sure, you can put it in because then you expect a lower high. But that also didn't happen. Then manipulated once more for all the people that also started selling here. Then we created a really nice gap. And as you can see from this gap, we tried to make a new high. We couldn't. And after that we inversed the gap, test back the gap. And you had a really nice liquidity target over here, cashing you more than 3 risk to reward. So I missed this manipulation move here of getting in the early sellers, taking them out. I thought we still had to manipulate because I was looking at this. Okay, now I want to see we're gonna get below this low, take out the high once more, and then you have your manipulation. But that already happened over here. And if you were sharp, it also happened over here, of course. Unfortunately, I missed that, even though I knew we could short here because of the weakness with London High and the SMT. So yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, but new lessons from me: be more sharp, really look into those candles and what they tell you. Then also, this happened when I wasn't behind the charts. Pretty nice behavior right here. I wanted to show you this as well. What happens here? Pump up. You're gonna get in a lot of buys here because it's pumping up, so a lot of volume has been produced. People are gonna FOMO buy into this. Right here you put in the high low, people FOMO buy once more, get liquidated, and then the big move gets liquidated over here. You also had a big SMT with this low. And what you also did was you made this fair value gap, tapped into the fair value gap, tried to make a new low. You couldn't make a new low, so that indicates we can grab some more liquidity from the upside. Then you also broke structure towards the upside, indicating, okay, we're gonna put in a higher low and make a new higher high. Where was the place for that higher low? In this 2-minute fair value gap. Put your entry in the middle. You can put your stop loss below here because that's your confirmed higher low. Equals are the target, 2.5 risk reward. Pretty easy. But I wasn't behind the chart, so yeah, not too mad about this one. So that was yesterday. Enough opportunities, but unfortunately I missed them all again. So we're on a bad streak, but we are learning from it, and hopefully we can break through this this bad streak. For today, let's start at the higher time frames to look at what is happening. Pretty big dump down from pretty big dump down. I think it's not that big of a dump. No, it's just a normal dump down towards liquidity from the AM session. And when lunch and PM put in their lows, we have been grinding up a bit, making new highs. As you can see, we took out all the internal liquidity. Only things that are left are all these session lows. As you can see, this PM low, this lunch low and previous day low, this PM low. So there is a lot of liquidity left on the lows, but we also already took out pretty much all our internal liquidity over here. As you can see, if I put in my drawings, this is, and apart from these lows, all your internal liquidity. That happened before London opened. When London opened, you left open the low that took out that liquidity. And from there we have just been grinding up in London style. This is a normal London trend behavior. And we're just picking up liquidity from the highs. We're leaving open a lot of liquidity on the lows. I'm looking to short towards that, but we don't have it trigger yet. Maybe we're gonna get it if we leave open this high, because we broke internal structure to the downside. The 5 minute you broke your structure, as you can see. So if we're gonna respect this 5 minute bearish fair value gap and leave open the high, then I'm looking for shorts. And otherwise it's just continue to pump up, but I'm not interested in taking any longs here. There was not a trigger for me to take a long yet. But we were on the 4 hour. I'm getting ahead of myself. On the 1 hour, I'm getting ahead of myself. Do I think this bullish fair value gap that we inversed is relevant on the 4 hour? No, because we didn't use it to make a new high or try to make a new high. It's just been obliterated in one 4-hour candle. Making a BPR though, we tapped into that BPR. Maybe it gets respected, or that was just the way the market used it, and now is done with that move. On a 12-hour, still up. 4-hour, of course. 1 hour also still up. I wouldn't say you broke 1 hour structure bearish, because the candle formation isn't that clean. On the 45-minute, you can say you broke structure bearish right here, but does that matter? Maybe is that gonna give us some bearish price action? Then I would see it locally, so I'm not paying too much attention to that. 15 minutes, you broke structure below this low that brought you towards new highs over here, so that is also more bearish than bullish. As I said, London was still just pumping up. We didn't use this 15-minute for value gap. That would indicate for more bearish scenarios as well. We just gained it. So yeah, it's up until proven otherwise. We have nice short liquidity targets, so if we get short triggers, of course we're gonna look for shorts. And otherwise, there's also enough liquidity on the highs. You have this high, or we have an SMT with right now. You have the Asia high and that high before Asia. And after that, it's a bit of a dark gap, but just all-time highs again. So higher time frame and mid time frame isn't that interesting. Let me clean up my chart as well, because I've explained this to you already. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, there's not really more to talk about. I think the plan is clear from now until proven otherwise. It's up. If we're gonna get those short triggers, we're gonna take the short, because we have a bit too much of nice liquidity on the lows, and we already took out pretty nice liquidity on the highs. You took out this high that brought you towards hunting all the extreme liquidity, and the high before that. We're also rejecting a pretty strong high. So as I said, if we're gonna leave that open and get some short entries, then I'm gonna take shorts. And otherwise, it's looking for longs to the Asia high, to this high, and that high above Asia high. So that will be it again for today. I hope to see you in the next video tomorrow again. If you liked the video, leave behind a like to show me you like these types of content. If you don't, let me know in the comments. If you do, you can also let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, so you keep being updated on the new videos. And then I will see you again tomorrow. Ciao!